What's good, y'all? Blue Satire back at it again. And I asked a question on Twitter about the PS5. I asked, all of a sudden, nobody's playing their PS5? And the reason I asked that is because an article was going around. All of the major journalists were posting this headline that Sony will not release any new major existing PlayStation franchise titles before April 2025. And the world went wild, saying that Sony's not dropping anything. I feel like I wasted my money getting a PlayStation. Next gen is disappointing. There's nothing on PS5s. We ain't getting no PS5 exclusives. And I'm like, what have we been playing for the past 3 years? But also, I can understand where people are coming from, but we gotta look at the full picture of why it may feel like there isn't that many exclusives, or the way the narrative has changed when it comes to what isn't exclusive, because there have been plenty of games that are only on the PlayStation 5 and the PC, but console-wise, only on the PS5, but for some reason that doesn't count anymore. If it's any other company, that still counts as an exclusive for PC and that console, but we're not gonna talk about that today. My initial question to you is, are you a PlayStation 5 owner, and do you feel like the next gen is disappointing to you? And if it is, that's fine, I understand. But I also feel like there are reasons that people feel that way, and I think it's not as bad as people make it. And actually, it's pretty on par with what PlayStation has done since the PS3, because if you were around back in the day, you know how dry it was at the start of those generations. But let's talk more about this article and what everybody's kind of been misinterpreting. And maybe not even misinterpreting, but kind of just jumping the gun. And I feel like after this week, everybody should stop jumping the gun. We've seen what happened with the Xbox business call. People are already jumping the gun with the Nintendo Switch, saying that it's gonna be delayed to 2025. How do you delay something that ain't even been announced? In this interview, people saw that highlighting title in all of these articles, but they didn't really look at what it said, new major existing titles. And in the interview, the Sony head said that regarding first-party software, we aim to continue to focus on producing high-quality works and developing live service games. But while major projects are currently under development, we do not plan to release any new major existing franchise titles next fiscal year, like God of War Ragnarok and Marvel Spider-Man 2. But I think the problem with the ones that we already know about, they aren't technically first-party exclusives. And in my opinion, does that really matter? And then there's other games that are there, like they're on PC and all that too, so when you see the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that's dropping in a couple of weeks, that's only gonna be on PlayStation and PC in the future. Stellar Blade is coming out. Rise of the Ronin is coming out. They just dropped Helldivers 2. Concord is coming in the future. And there's some other stuff coming too. So like, what's the real problem? Games are still coming. You still have something to play. But I think console wars has people always hooked on the idea that where's the big AAA first party Sony, the games I know about, the Spider-Mans, the God of Wars, all of that, where is that? And you may have a point, but in my opinion, don't you got so much to play? I know your backlog is hurting right now. My backlog is hurting. There is plenty to play, and we gotta be more patient when it comes to games coming out, because we got too much to play. And we will be mad if the game comes out and it's not that good. Now we just wasted our time. But also, because of this, people tend to feel like the PS5 has been dry. There has been no exclusive dropping. And that may be true because the situation is different from when the PS5 dropped compared to other systems. Xbox too, but that's a whole other story. You gotta remember that the PS5 dropped right during the beginning of the pandemic, and how many people was able to get a PlayStation 5 day one? There's some people still having trouble getting PS5. So to have a PS5 and games coming out for only that system for people that can't even get the system would have been a very detrimental to the sales of Sony. So what did they do? What everybody wanted them to do. They released those games on PS4 too. So a lot of the PS5 releases have dual releases on the PS4. But the thing is, people count that as an X to, well, it's not, I can get that on PS4. No reason to have a PS5. But let's be honest here. If God of War 2 dropped, if Horizon dropped, if all of these games dropped and you wasn't able to play it on your PS4 in 2021, 2022, because you need to upgrade to a system that wasn't available, we would have been mad too. It's a lose-lose situation. You either put it on both of your consoles until the market can supply all of the PS5s, or people got to miss out. And they didn't want to miss out on that money. But let's be honest, you would have been mad if you're a PS4 owner and you can't get to a PS5 and you're missing out on the newest big game because I can't get to a PS5 that's sold out every 2 seconds. So the difference being compared to other systems is a lot of the would-be PS5 exclusives had to share with PS4 from 2020 to 2023. While some of these are available on PC too, games like Returnal, the Demon's Souls remake, Spider-Man 2, and Ratchet & Clank, they are the only ones that's available for PS5 only, but a lot of other games were able to be put on the PlayStation 4 too, and that I feel like that hurt its image of why do I need this system? But truth be told, I think it's still worth it because if you got a PS5, you got games that take advantage of that hardware. But that's a unique problem that they had because of the pandemic. And again, let's be honest, if they didn't give us the option to get these on PS4, that's leaving out a lot of gamers for some games that will only be on PS5 if we didn't put them on PS4. And we would have a whole nother argument going on. But you are entitled to feel the way you feel about it because I get it. Who wants to buy this system to not play it? And a lot of people don't. A lot of people are casual gamers. A lot of people don't play a lot of games on their PS5. Some people are only playing shooters and free-to-play games on their PS5. Some people spent $600 on a system to play a game they was already playing on the PS4. And when you get a system, like, is there really a reason to get a new system when all of you playing is Fortnite and Apex and Roblox and Minecraft and games that you can play on the server or play on your PC or play on your PS4, your Xbox One? Probably not. But there are some people that said that this generation is the worst one since the PS3 and the PS4. But let's truth be told, when the PS3 and the PS4 launched, it's the same 3 years. Another article said that PlayStation was entering its latter years, and people went up and all like, oh my God, we just got it. We just got a system. We were just able to afford the system. What you mean it's almost over? That's not what they said. They said the latter years, which means it's halfway through its console generation. Most consoles last 6 to 7 years. We're going on year 4, believe it or not. Time flies. But if you look at the first 3 years on the PS3 and the PS4 compared to the PS5, it was equally dry. Don't believe me, look it up. I can list a couple examples here, but the PS3 was boring. We all know that 360 at first was winning the generation, but it pulled away in the end with games like Uncharted 1 and 2, The Last of Us dropped. And the thing about that is those games had to be reported on the PS4 because it came at the end of the PlayStation 3's lifetime. Just like now, third party carried the PS3 and the PS4 in the beginning. The first year when the PS3 dropped, all you had was Call of Duty, Madden, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, NBA 2K, Heavenly Sword, which was cool, Uncharted, Drake's Fortune, the older Crash Bandicoots. Like, there wasn't a lot the first couple of years. We didn't get the big games from Sony's first parties until much later on. Same with PS4. I remember getting my PS4 day one and I was bored because all I could play was Killzone, Shadowfall, which a lot of people don't talk about Killzone and we ain't seen it in a minute, right? Knack. I know y'all didn't love Knack, right? Doki Doki Universe, y'all wasn't playing that. It was a couple indie games that were dope. We did get Infamous Second Son and Infamous First Light in 2014, which was dope. But still, not a lot. We got Little Big Planet 3. We got the first Helldivers, which ironically was on PS3, the Vita, and PS4. We got Bloodborne in 2015, MLB The Show, yay. The Last of Us was remastered in 2015, so that's the PS4 launch years, the first 3 years of the PS4 until done. So in all honesty, those beginning years of the PS3 and the PS4 comparable to the PlayStation 5 beginning years. So that latter phrase in this latter years, people should not be afraid of that right now, because most of the great games we got came in the latter years of the PS3 and the PS4. Remember, the PS4 really started taking off with the dope games. Really 2017 in my opinion. We got Horizon, God of War in 2018. We started getting The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Persona 5, Detroit Become Human, Spider-Man 2018, Days Gone. A lot of people don't like that one, but it was actually pretty good. Death Stranding, people like that, don't know why. Neo 2, so many games came in that little time frame. But I think people gotta stop panicking and enjoy the games that they have. And if you feel like your PS5 is kind of collecting dust, it's a waste because of how you play, I definitely understand and you're entitled to an opinion. I play mine a lot, but I definitely understand coming from a person that has a PC, a Switch, a PlayStation. I balance my time in between all of them, but I do still play my PS5 in the certain games I get. I understand when people play where they choose to play at, and that's all that really matters, as long as you're having fun. But the doom and gloom and the PlayStation is dry. There's reasons for things like that, or those opinions. I don't necessarily, the PS5 has plenty of games to play. But if you couldn't find a PS5 and you had a PS4, you might feel that it's not worth getting a PS5 when you still have a PS4. And that's fine, I get that, I actually understand that. But also, if you want the upgrade and you want to play some of the PS5 exclusives, I understand that too. But I say it all that to say is, just enjoy games how you like them. Quit listening to these rumors and quit looking at headlines and getting afraid and getting scared and going on a tangent right away when you really, like, it's really not that crucial. Just look at the history of video games and PlayStation. You'll see that this is nothing new. This is kind of the cycle of what PlayStation does, and I don't know. That's all I have for you today, but let me know in the comment section. Are you playing a PS5? Do you have a PS5? How do you feel about all of this news? And how do you feel about next gen right now? I'm not ready for no new generation. I'll tell you that right now. We don't need it. Why? We worry about what we got going on right now. That's how I feel. But that's all for me. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.